Welcome to another edition of The Word on Woodward. I'm Daniella Bruce alongside Art Regner, and joining us today, perhaps Art's favorite Red Wing, I think, defenseman Jordan Oesterle. Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Well,
Thanks for
I
having
would even
me.
say
There he is.
favorite Red Wing. I would say Jordan, my man. I mean, we're friends. We're friends. I'm friends with his whole family. I love his entire family.
Oh, great.
His mother, his father, his wife. And I don't even know his siblings, and I love them too.
And soon to love Jordan Jr.?
Let's
Is it
not
Jordan
let's not
Jr.?
go that. Maybe Art Jr. I think.
Art-
Yeah,
okay, I like
Arthur
it.
Oesterle does have a good ring to it.
It
but
really does.
Yeah, congratulations,
Yeah,
obviously,
thank
to you
you.
and Ashley.
Yeah,
That's
we're
great
excited.
news.
That's pretty exciting. And
Yeah.
as a dad, you have to be pretty excited that it's a boy, right? I know all dads are always like, I'd be happy with a girl too, but you got to be pretty excited to have a little boy.
Yeah, I was pretty strong-minded on. I wanted a boy right away,
Yeah.
just to get the boy out of the way, and then
There
we
you
can
go.
have girls, and as long as I got one.
And
so.
skates immediately before
Yeah,
you
we'll
can
see.
walk?
I mean,
Okay.
obviously, like everyone parents says, let him do what they want to do. So we'll see what he wants to do, and we'll get him on skates eventually.
Well, will Western Michigan be in your son's future?
Could be that or Grand Valley. That's where my wife went. So somewhere out west.
I was going to say the west side of the
Yeah.
state for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, he's a West Sider too.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. All of it makes sense now. Well, Jordan, we are going to ask you some hockey questions. Believe it or not, I'm not going to let Art take this one way off
I've got
the
so
rails.
much to ask him.
But a successful season so far for the Red Wings, and it's been an interesting one for you personally. At the beginning of the season, you weren't getting into the lineup, and I'd imagine that had to be tougher for you. How did you stay prepared mentally and physically for when that time was going to come? And it inevitably did.
Yeah, obviously I knew my time was going to come eventually.
Yeah.
I went through this kind of last year as well, and my years previous in Arizona. So I'm accustomed to it. I'm used to it, and we have good training staff and a good group of guys in there that make it fun to come to the rink every single day, even if you're not playing. So it's just kind of buying your time and staying ready for that opportunity. As cliche as it is, you just got to be ready to take advantage.
You know, when you look at your history, I mean, you persevered. I mean, not drafted. You go to, you go to Western for 3 seasons, Edmonton, Chicago, Arizona, Detroit. That perseverance. I mean, do you sometimes sit really and say, well, geez, and not get down on yourself when you realize, hey, I'm a professional hockey player. This is a pretty darn good situation that I'm in.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if I would have those days, you know what, you just remind yourself you're playing a game for a living. And if you told me that when I was a little kid that I'd be doing this, I would say yes. So you just go have fun and enjoy every single day. So.
We keep hearing over and over from your teammates, coaching staff, that this team is really buying into what Coach Lalonde is preaching, and that's a little bit different from what you guys experienced last year. Just talk about that buy-in from your perspective. What differences are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. The games that we've played, guys are buying. I mean, you see guys, we have these attitude clips where guys are blocking shots, hitting people, doing the little things that it takes to win. And I think it just stems from, guys are tired of losing. There's such a winning tradition here with the Red Wings, so we want to get back to that and make the city proud. And obviously, him coming in with this new mindset, he's a tough coach, so guys don't want to play bad.
Well, what's interesting is that he, almost from day one, was telling us, like, take the risk out of your game. Take the risk out of your game. Is that the old keep it simple, stupid, the old KISS theory? And is that an easier style to play because it leads to less mistakes? I find it interesting because I love hockey because guys do take risks. When you played the Leafs, I mean, they're taking risks all over the ice. But is that what maybe have you been able to embrace that style a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of makes it more simple. It's more predictable, if you could say. The guys know where the puck's going in certain situations, and as maybe boring as it might sound with taking the risks out of your games, when you take risks out of your games when you play against teams like Toronto and Pittsburgh's and those teams with Austin Matthews and those guys, and you eliminate odd man rushes, you have better chances of winning. So it's definitely helped our group for sure.
But you're an offensive-minded guy in a way, though, and you're a great skater. So, was it tough to adapt to Lalonde or what he wants you to do? Because you're a +8 on this team, which is pretty good.
Yeah, not really. I think a lot of the risk is in our D zone and at the offensive blue line. So it's not really areas where I would really try to take too much risk. But and then in the O zone, he kind of lets us play hockey, and as long as we have a guy high. But It's been a really fun system, and guys obviously are buying in.
Yeah, things have changed a little bit throughout the season, but most recently it seems like you're steadily playing with Jake Walman, who returned from injury earlier in the month. What's it like being his D partner? What do you like about the way you guys complement each other?
Yeah, it's fun playing with Walman. Obviously, he's kind of like me. One of us is always trying to get up in the rush and help each other out. I kind of joke in the locker room to him that I'm the defensive defenseman on our D pairing. So, but no, it's fun playing with him. We both think the same. We get along really well off the ice. And, we can read off each other, and we're both playing some good hockey right now.
I always hear reading off each other, and I'm kind of curious that way because I've heard guys over the years tell me that they'll try to get to know like a player's nicknames or how the other team refers to each other, and they'll scream the name out on the ice to try to get a pass from him, thinking he's passing it to a teammate. I don't know if that's true or not, but how do you guys communicate on the ice?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, we talk about things in practice and on the bench, but a lot of it is instinctual. Just kind of the more you play with somebody, you kind of know where they're going to be. You get the feel, kind of like a sixth sense. Kind of getting the feel of where he is, and he's been here since the last trade deadline, so I've gotten to practice with him a lot. I didn't really get to play with him before this year, but it's been pretty easy.
We talked about the way Coach Lalone has wanted to coach you guys, and he told us at the very beginning that this was all about playing better defense. Steve Yzerman has preached that too, and you guys have done that. But looking at the offensive side of things, like a guy like Filip Hronek has now been able to jump, and he might be leading the team in points in the last 6 games, so he's been really good, or 7 games. And you too, you have a goal on the season. You've been jumping up in there too. So is it more of learning how to play and when to take those risks? Because you guys you're capitalizing on some of those chances.
Yeah, especially. You know what? As long as we can clean up the D zone, I think that's obviously we're not going to win games 6-4,
right.
7-4. We need to win games 3-2, 2-1. Then when we get in the O zone, that's when we know we can take our risks. And our forwards have done a good job of backing us up whenever we do jump up and do take those risks. And obviously the puck's going in for the D-men right now, so it's good to see.
When you look at, this has been the talk amongst media, when you look at American Thanksgiving, which has just passed, that is kind of a playoff measurement, right? Most of the teams that are in a playoff spot at American Thanksgiving end up in a playoff spot at the end of the season, and the Red Wings were right there. You're in a playoff spot right at that marker. Do you look at that? Do players look at that? I know Dylan Larkin joked with us that he will talk to us if you're in a playoff spot at Easter. That's when he'll
right.
buy into it. But
Right.
Do you guys buy into that at all? Do you talk about it?
No, not at all.
No.
I feel like that's way too early to say you're in a playoff spot. I mean, what are we, 20 games into the season right now? So there's a lot of hockey left to be played. And, like Lark said, come talk to us by Easter. And if we're in a playoff spot, then we can have that discussion.
So have you been to Miller's lately?
Not since with you.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't, like, a celebratory thing? You score your first goal, which I'm taking credit for.
Yeah.
Because we had that shootout contest in your garage
That's
this
true.
year.
You did teach me a thing or two.
Where you
looks
put
like
that,
it.
Yeah.
where you put that puck is exactly where you put it in your garage. I don't know if you know that or not.
No, I didn't.
That goal you scored. Oh, yeah. It was the same identical thing. When you scored it, I said, that's a garage goal.
A garage goal. Yeah, I score a lot of those in my garage. That's for sure.
It's just you and maybe your dog
Yeah.
playing net, right?
Yeah.
Congrats on the garage goal.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Anyway, Jordan, we wish you the best of luck.
All right. Well, Jordan, we appreciate you joining us. It's always fun.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me on, Art and Danielle.
Our pleasure. Anytime.